Namaskar, I am Babar Ali. I come from Murshidabad, one of the most backward districts in West Bengal, bordering Bangladesh. In 2002, at age 9, when I was a student of class 5, I started a school in the backyard of my home, under a guava tree. It started with 80 students, and my sister, Amina, was my first student. In the beginning, my mother's saris served as canopies to shield my students from the sun. That school under the guava tree is now an affiliated school under the West Bengal Board of Secondary Education, which we finally got in the year 2018. And over the period of 21 years, more than 8,000 students have received completely free education from it. Of course, it has a new building now. The name of my school is Ananda Siksha Niketan, or the home of joyful learning. So, what made me want to teach my friends at such a young age? I felt lucky to be able to go to school, and since so many others could not, I wanted to share my joy of learning with them. Getting to school was a 10-kilometer daily journey on my father's bicycle, then on a bus, then on foot. Every day while I went to school, I used to see boys of my age working as field laborers, rag pickers, cattle grazers, and errand boys in shops to support their families economically or just loitering about in the streets flying kites. The condition of girls was worse. From childhood, they worked as maids, and then child marriage was rampant. The societal reservation against educating girls was the greatest challenge. I came to realize that I was among the few privileged whose parents thought that it was necessary for their children to go to school daily and get educated. My parents, though both had only studied till class 8, were conscious enough to let all four of their children avail of higher education, irrespective of the prevalent gender bias. My father's support was crucial in this endeavor. My father was skeptical in the beginning, as he thought that it would hamper my own studies, and he had this dream of seeing me become an IAS officer. But he soon came around when he realized that I was doing a noble job of educating children less privileged who did not have the means or opportunity to avail of other paths to educate themselves without any family support. My mother was, of course, my greatest supporter from the very beginning. When I opened my school, I did not have any teaching and learning materials. So every day after class, I used to request my class teacher, Mrs. Boyjonti Tewari, to lend me used and broken chalk. I improvised a blackboard from terracotta tiles and gave my old books and notebooks to the students. Then we went around the village in groups asking for donations of rice, which we sold to buy books for the children. I also used to buy old books from the Raddiwala, and once my father donated rupees 600 to buy some books. While all this going on, my life took a new turn. I used to hear of the monks of the nearby Ramakrishna mission at Sargachi, who often helped people in need. I had also seen the work they had done during the floods in 2000, so I was sure that they would help my school too. One day, I walked 4 kilometers along with a group of my students to Sargachi Ramakrishna mission and met the principal, Swami Nandoji. I asked him for a blackboard, books, and stationaries for my students. He must have been surprised, a tiny boy claiming to be the headmaster of his school, but still he encouraged me to carry on with my work. He promised me that he would visit my school, and throughout the years, he has kept this promise by visiting it numerous times. That day, he also gifted me a book in Bengali, Shabar Shamiji, Shamiji for All, on Swami Vivekananda. And from that book, there was a quotation, service to man is service to God. It inspired me to continue my mission. This was my first introduction to Swami Vivekananda and his ideals. I fell in love with the great teacher. I decided that I would run my life and my school based on his ideals, and I have kept this promise to this day. Swami Vivekananda believed that for a country to progress, man and woman had to be equally educated. With my limited means, I went from door to door, asking families to send their daughters to school along with their sons. Gradually, people came forward, and the students' strength of my school went up to 800, most of them girls. At present, too, about 60% of the students of my school are girls. Thus, I can say that in a small way, I have been at the forefront of a social revolution in a small corner of the country. So our students are from very underprivileged, economically and socially backward communities. Often nobody in their family is educated. And the onus falls on us to be able to communicate with the families and make them understand the importance of education, considering the enormous economic burden under which they have to survive, ensuring that children continue their education till the secondary level is indeed a huge challenge. We have been able to significantly lessen the percentage of school dropouts by providing them books, stationeries, uniforms, and food, basically trying to remove the obvious economic impediments to their education. For such children, for them to be engaged or enjoy the learning process is difficult. To make education more attractive to them, from the very beginning, I introduced song, dance, and sports classes so the children could be free from all the worries of their lives for some time. Over the years, with the support of many people, like all of you here, I have been able to improve my school with electricity connections, sanitary facilities, an adequate library, and a computer room. We are also thinking of opening a skill-based learning center which would teach students to use their inherent skills to earn a sufficient livelihood for themselves. These things may not sound too appealing to many of you present here who have access to the best technologies, but in the corner of the country that I come from, most people have never heard of a computer, let alone touch it. The joy in their eyes is a thing to behold the first time they get to see and touch a computer. But the challenges do not stop here. After all, the trouble that we take to bring the children into the field of education, the quality of education suffers a great deal as a result of it. And more often than not, we find the children of higher classes are not up to the required standards. I cannot explain how depressing I find the situation. Role of teachers are very much important in this regard, and the students should be exposed to it activity-based learning. So the number of enrollments in a school does not always guarantee the expected outcome. What we need to do is dramatically improve the quality of the education we provide. And if some children learn more slowly than others, we should be able to give them more support. So with no financial aid from the government, it is with the prize money I received from various awards and regular donations from well-wishers across the country that we have been able to buy land, building a school building, and run the day-to-day activities of the school. I believe in Swami Vivekananda's teaching that it is with love that you can conquer all hurdles. I love my work, and I love my students who love me in return. Many of them travel several kilometers by foot every day. come rain or shine, to come to school daily because they love their school. My sister was my first student. Now she has completed her post-graduation and teacher's training degree and now working as a teacher in my school. In fact, of the 10 teachers at my school, 6 are former students. After their higher education and teacher's training degree, they became the teacher at our school. Here I must certainly mention Chumki Hajra. You get to see her in the BBC documentary. When she lived in a shanty, worked in people's homes, and then came to my school in the late afternoons because I offered free education and food. She had expressed her desire to be a nurse, which she did not become, but she has indeed become a teacher of my school after completing her graduation and teacher's training. So, as for the future, I intend to work to provide free and equal opportunities in education to children in the most backward of places across the country. But how will I reach the doorstep of the crores of our country? For that too, I find inspiration in the words of Swami Vivekananda, who said, if the mountain does not come to Muhammad, then Muhammad must go to the mountain. It is my dream that not a single child of our country should go hungry and that every child gets a good and useful education, not only to succeed in life, but also to acquire values that will make them good citizens of our country. I hope you will all help make this dream come true. So these two lines should be embossed on the tablet of our mind. That is, miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Namaskar.